Well, getting you some updates coming in from the Supreme Court of India. The Apex Court has slammed Delhi government, saying that every year at this time it changes. 6 years and people have not been able to get respite from the rising pollution levels. The Supreme Court has been hearing the air pollution matter where multiple petitions were lined up. This is a matter that is ongoing at the Supreme Court, and each year we see a slew or a series of directions coming in from the Supreme Court depending on the situation. There was a wrap for the Delhi government. There were questions that were asked to Punjab and Haryana also earlier about what exactly that they have done. As I said earlier, it was completely courtesy Mother Nature that you had the rainfall and these winds blowing, and hence you got some respite. Otherwise, one wonders what kind of a gas chamber, how bad of a gas chamber Delhi would have been post-Diwali, because around festivities the pollution levels go up. Ananya with us on the broadcast. Ananya, what happened at the Supreme Court?
Well, who is currently hearing this particular matter and is expressing concerns over the paddy cultivation in the state of Punjab, clearly saying that it is not only, resulting in stubble burning, but also is deteriorating the water table of that particular state. In fact, the Supreme Court says that, nothing happened and nothing speaks of until the Supreme Court has to this was after, Advocate Akash talking for, in fact, as an amicus in this case, said that, there are nothing moves, and that's exactly why the Supreme Court is also a little urged with, in fact, what is happening. And in fact, submissions are also being made by the Delhi government with regard to its fresh affidavit regarding all the in the ask what they have done, and the Supreme Court is getting that particular matter. But subsequently, another hearing is asked before, in fact, the National Youth Capital today, where, various states had been asked to submit their responses, wherein AQI had been high, and in fact, the NGT has come down heavily on, in fact, the Bihar government, saying that even after the NGT's directions, even after NGT's orders, nothing has changed in the state of Bihar. There is high AQI levels have been, severe AQI levels have been reported in the state and in various cities of the state, and that's exactly why the NGT has come down very heavily on the Bihar government and various other governments here and in the national capital. We have to really watch for how things pan out in these reports and what happens next and what kind of orders are actually passed.
Absolutely. Talking about what happened in the last hearing, there were certain questions, Ananya, that was asked to the Delhi government and also the states like Punjab and Haryana about stubble burning, and everything should be done to control stubble burning. Now, it's great that we have had rainfall. It's good that the pollution levels are in check right now. But moving forward, stubble burning will continue for the next few months. And is there any proper plan in place that these states have presented to the Supreme Court, especially related to stubble burning? Any numbers that have been presented?
Well, numbers have not been presented as of now, though they find mention in various affidavits, and in fact, on the last occasion as well, it was shown that how Punjab is a major contributor of stubble burning, and how stubble burning is one of the major, components when it comes to increasing the AQI levels and causing pollution in the National Capital Territory of Delhi and around and the area surrounding it, and that's exactly why the Supreme Court had, in fact, sent notices to the Punjab, Rajasthan and other governments, and it sought their responses. In fact, the Punjab government had on the last occasion accepted that, it is responsible for stubble burning, and it is making all endeavors to make the state stubble burning free. So we'll have to wait until this matter gets over and what directions come in from the Supreme Court and also from the NGT. And what is happening at the NGT at this point of time is that tough questions are being put to, in fact, the Punjab Pollution Control Board, and they're being asked, is there any improvement in any place? Point out one city where situation has actually improved. No improvement in Amritsar. Bhatinda remains in poor category. We showed you satellite images last time. What is shown in the report and shown in the satellite image does not match. It also goes on to say what will happen to the residents of cities in Punjab. Cities in Punjab are engulfed in smoke is what the Supreme Court has in fact said it. In fact, the NGT has said, and in fact goes on to say that God has come to your mercy because God also realized that nothing is being done at your end.
Cutting across to Anshul as well. Anshul, we have spoken about the politics around this entire issue. The farmers in Punjab argue that there is no real alternative which is available to them when it comes to the disposal of stubble, and the machines are very expensive. No other, fertilizer or any kind of pesticide has been provided to them. They are without any kind of option, and hence they have to resort to stubble burning.
So yes, that is what is the reality on the ground, because the farmers say that they have absolutely no option to do anything with that residue except to burn it, because the manner in which the implementation of all these plans that look so nice on paper, the implementation is as scary as it could be, because what farmers on the ground say that yes, the government has made a few places where the residue could be burned in a safe manner, but that place is actually very far from their farms, and who will then bear the entire cost of transportation that will come up, because the farmers generally are small farmers, they are not able to bear the transportation cost. On the other hand, the Delhi government has continuously been promoting the Pusa biodecomposer. That has also not been handed out to farmers on the ground. No real incentive has been given to them for crop rotation, because one of the solutions that the government had presented, that they would promote
crop rotation amongst the farmers, through which the amount of stubble that is burned, that would come down, but there is no incentive that is given to them, and hence it is absolutely cannot be seen on the ground, and that is what the Supreme Court has said, that without incentive the farmers are not going to turn towards crop rotation or do work on any other crop in this season. So yes, all these questions that we have been asking the government. Now the Supreme Court itself is coming to the fore and is asking the same questions to this government, because the affidavits that have been filed by them, especially by the Delhi government, that affidavit looks absolutely hollow, because yes, all these steps were being taken in the national capital for the past many years, at least 5 to 6 years, but how much improvement has it provided when it comes to comparing the air quality index, be it 6 years ago to yesterday itself? There is absolutely zero to no improvement that has been seen on the ground. So even after the steps that you have taken, there is no improvement in the air quality. So what further steps can be taken? That was asked in the affidavit, but yes, the manner in which these affidavits have been are absolutely shocking and seems hollow. But yes, since the hearing is going on, we are expecting that within the next few minutes we could get an exact picture of how the Supreme Court is going to guide all these governments, because without the Supreme Court cracking the whip, it is very unlikely that all these governments would actually sit on a table and try to chalk out a concrete plan to end this menace of pollution.
All right, let me once again cut across to Ananya, who continues to be with us on the broadcast, getting us more perspective on the story. Ananya, that unfortunate politics is not just outside the courtroom. Even inside the courtroom, we have seen how the governments have failed to provide any kind of solution. And in fact, the Supreme Court frowned upon the odd-even scheme, calling it just a plastic attempt and not a real solution to the pollution crisis.
Well, definitely, and in fact, that is exactly what is happening at this point of time. Also, in fact, on the Delhi government saying that it will implement the odd-even scheme after the Supreme Court orders. The Supreme Court is very clear that we had asked how do taxis come into Delhi. They said we'll introduce odd-even scheme also, odd-even in this also. They said that they're going to wait for the SC order. But what does the SC order had to do with this? In fact, it also goes on to say that don't try to non-performance shift the onus onto the court. Now you're making a hue and cry about how other people will be affected. Amicus has said odd even does not help. Now you want for taxes. In fact, now what is very clearly happening, Anusha, the Supreme Court, is that the Delhi government is being wrapped by the Supreme Court. Clearly, the odd even scheme seems to be a failure when it comes to the Supreme Court recognizing it. Even the Amicus Curiae, Prajita Singh, has said that it does little to nothing when it comes to curbing down the pollution in the national capital territory of Delhi. While the Delhi government has been promoting the odd-even scheme like it is the only solution for, in fact, the problem of pollution in the national capital, though it had in its affidavit, which was filed today itself, said that it goes on to decongest the road and is also planning to implement it for the taxis. But at the same point of time, the Supreme Court does not seem to be, agreeing to that, and very clearly saying that, something has to be done, and kind of onus shifting is being done by the Delhi government when it comes to implementing and acting on this high AQI level.
Ananya, I have no doubt about this in my head when we talk about the accountability. Delhi government is accountable. They are the elected government of